Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another new video. Today I wanted to show you one of my latest photo shoots and go over some of the lighting techniques that I'm using in this shoot. As you can see in some of these clips, we started off shooting with more of a top-down light. I always love the way top-down lighting works. I think it's kind of my go-to in terms of just starting off the shoot and seeing what we're looking at. I just really enjoy how the light kind of falls off down the subject and it gets a little bit darker. It just depends on obviously what we're shooting, but in this scenario, I wanted to get some good light on the subject, yes, but also make sure that we had enough dark negative space in the shot to keep the photos kind of edgy and just keep them in my style. We did a couple different lighting techniques, and it was basically me just kind of figuring out what looks the best while we were shooting in the studio. The studio didn't have a white cyc wall or any white paper to use, so basically I kind of had to come up with an idea and make it happen. So as you'll see in some of these photos, some of the images have a white background, and you might think that that would have been a cyc wall, but in reality we just had the softbox placed right behind the subject and had the strobe still lighting up the softbox, and that essentially gives you a white background or a white backdrop. But the issue here sometimes is that you do kind of have to make sure that the softbox is big enough to cover the back of your subject. And also another thing is that the lighting will be one directional, meaning it will come from just one direction. Now there are alternatives to that. You can always bring another strobe into play, and if you put it right in front of the subject, you will have kind of an evenly lit shot. But the way that we did it is we just let one strobe rip from the back of them, and I think it ended up looking pretty cool. I'll show you some of the shots and then I'll tell you exactly how we did it. So first of all, this lighting technique is called backlighting. The first thing you're gonna do to achieve this look is place the softbox with the strobe right behind the subject. So the strobe that we're gonna be using in this photo shoot is the newer Q6. This is a 600 watt strobe light that is designed for studio and outdoor use. The second thing you're gonna wanna do is make sure that the subject is directly in the center of the softbox.
Maybe go like chin kind of up. So that looks.
The next thing you want to do is get the correct exposure to where the softbox is almost blown out while trying to maintain proper exposure on the subject. Now that might take some back and forth. I usually just change my f-stop depending on how much light I want to let in. Because you're using a strobe, you can shoot these photos at a higher f-stop. I think I shot these at like f of 9. So with that being said, just mess around with your camera settings and see what exposure you can get. But basically you really want to get the softbox to be almost blown out and still have the light properly exposed on your subject. And the next thing you want to do is definitely just move around, like try to find the angles that look the best for the model. But finding the right angle could be tricky because your light source is only coming from one direction. So if your light source is coming from directly behind you, you can really only shoot from like this point on to this point on. Or if you shoot directly in front of them, there'll be a whole silhouette. So you really just got to kind of figure out what you like best and find the right angle that flatters the model as well. Another tip for that is just to slowly rotate your subject and see how the light hits them. Really kind of study where the light falls off at. I feel like as photographers, sometimes we just get too focused on trying to get the shot and we just keep shooting and shooting and shooting. But in reality, I think what we need to be focusing more on nowadays is how the light works in our frame. It's cool to shoot 100 photos, 200 photos in 10 minutes and hope that you got the shot. But at the end of the day, what I've been trying to do more of is focus more on looking at the light and seeing how it falls, because at the end of the day, photography really is mostly documenting light. So if you can master lighting, you'll definitely be a great photographer. There's no doubt about it. And then lastly, if you do want that silhouette shot, you basically would just expose the subject to be almost completely black, really dark in the frame, and have the background be very bright. So as you can see in these shots, we were using kind of more lighting from the side, which is going to allow the light to kind of fall off the subject as it goes across it. So basically we had a little bit more shadows on one side than the other, but the light and the softbox were powerful enough and big enough to light kind of the whole subject. But I just wanted to get a little bit of fall off kind of going near the eye over there. So All right, so for these last couple shots, we really just put the softbox kind of top left. The softbox that I was using, I think, was about 3 feet, so it was pretty big. So we put the two models together and we were shooting the last look there. And we got some cool lighting. We found these barn doors, and I just kind of wanted to make their like Western inspired outfits kind of fit a setting here. So that's why we used the barn doors here. But it's kind of cool and odd that the studio even had them there. Definitely just worked out in our favor. So like I said, this strobe is for studio and outdoor, meaning it is battery powered. Now you can plug it into a wall and shoot with it as much as you want, but if you're outdoors, you can get 400 shots off of a full battery at 600 watts. The recycling time for this strobe is super quick, anywhere from 0.1 to 0.9 seconds. So you're never really waiting on the flash. It's very unnoticeable for it to have to recycle. And I think that's a great thing too, because if you are a photographer who just shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots, a lot of us do that. Depends on the photo shoot. I do that too. But you'll get a lot of great shots because the recycling time is super quick. So some of the features that come with the strobe is that you do have the typical TTL, you have full manual control, you also have multi-strobe mode. But the most impressive thing I would say is that you have the high-speed sync, which is up to 1/8,000th of a second. That means that you can shoot wide open in broad daylight and still use flash creatively. Like I mentioned before, it does support Bowens mount, so a lot of the soft boxes and just light modifiers that you might already have are going to be Bowens mount. So the good thing is once you buy the strobe, you probably won't have to buy any other equipment. Unless you don't want a softbox, then you might have to. So the Q6 has a built-in 2.4 GHz wireless system with 32 channels in 5 groups. It works best with Neewer's Q Pro triggers, which is what I have for this. And syncing the trigger to the strobe was honestly one of the easiest things I've ever had to do. That's another thing that I love about this strobe, is that it just makes it super user-friendly. So the pros for this strobe, I would say, is that it has a lot of power, fast recycling speeds. It has Bowens mount for any of your soft boxes. It has a LED modeling lamp. So this light itself does have 2 settings for a modeling lamp. It has a brighter setting, a dim setting, and then obviously you can turn it off. It's really cool that this light does have a modeling light, just so when you're in the studio, you can kind of already get an idea of the direction of the light. And overall, it's just a great value for the price and the amount of power that you're getting out of the strobe. And the fact that it is battery powered, meaning you can take it anywhere. That is what sold me on it, and I'm so glad I have the strobe. So some of the cons I would just say is that it might be a little bit heavy for everybody, and you definitely do need to buy the Neewer Q Pro triggers for it. But honestly, like I said, at the price point, it's just a great trade-off. So with that being said, just make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment. All those things really help with the algorithm here on YouTube. So let me know what you guys want to see more of. Let me know if you had a favorite shot from the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.